there. I am Lisa Michaels, and you may have watched some of my shows before. I have probably been censored more, well, I don't know more, but certainly longer than most people I've seen on YouTube. I started getting censored in November or December of 2008. When I had the audacity to expose the fact that our previous elected president was not eligible to serve in that capacity under our Constitution because he was not a natural born citizen. So the people that run the website, YouTube, were not pleased. So they just froze the views and they stopped allowing people to see it. And if they did watch it, they didn't add the view on, so it looked like a really boring video. I don't think it was really boring. It's 3 parts, because at that time you couldn't make a video any longer than 10 minutes. So I want to get right to the point. I want to talk about this coronavirus, what's happening in the world. We are in historic times, and if you are familiar with the QAnon movement, that has been dropping information to prepare us for this moment. I believe that they are now taking people into custody that they have been investigating for extremely evil things. I don't want to get into how evil the evil things are, but they're pretty evil. And I believe we should be prepared that it might be some famous people that we really adore. We've liked watching their movies, that sort of thing. That behind the scenes, they're really not good people. We can always fall back on the Lord, and most important, this is a spiritual battle. This is not a physical battle. This is a spiritual battle between, as it says in Thessalonians, so we fight not against flesh and blood, but evil spirits, principalities, that sort of thing. So, in any case, I guess I have to keep this going, otherwise they're gonna not record it. But I want you to listen to this guy. Now, this at first glance seemed kind of strange. I was like, whoa, I don't know if this is credible. But if you look at history and you look at what's happened since 1999, when he took control of, away from the evil cabal, whatever, big mucks that were in charge of the planet for several hundred years prior to that, and had us paying money to them, and while they're abusing us and that sort of thing. He's a righteous man, and I think he deserves a good listen to, because if he's right, that means that the Federal Reserve has actually already been dismantled, and we've been working under this kind of mirrored system until we're able to completely take it down and begin a new world, a new country. Setup of the new country and the new monetary system, that sort of thing, if this is true. But you know what? You should always vet people and watch what they do, what they say, and what happens. Don't take people at their word, because, of course, these bad people have been following Satan and the enemy, Lucifer, Moloch, whatever you want to call it. They've been following him, and he's the father of lies. So everything he's told them, they've been lied to. So you kind of, feel sorry for them. But some of them are actually literally possessed by evil spirits. Now, Jesus, you may laugh, ha ha ha, it's not Halloween, why are you talking about evil spirits? Well, the oldest book, the very first book in the Bible, was Job, and Job said, he came, the first chapter or two, God's having a big meeting with all the angels, and who waltzes in the back of it? Satan. He said, where have you been going? Oh, I've been going to and fro from the earth. Oh, really? What do you think of that guy Job? He's a great guy, and he really loves me. He's like, yeah, he'd take away all his riches, and then he'll curse you like anything else. And God's like, you're on. I'll give you the power to go down there and rule on earth and tempt them and cause all sorts of mayhem and test them and see if they still love me. If they still love me, then I win, which started this whole spiritual competition between the enemy and with God, because God doesn't want people up there in heaven who have not chosen to be up there in heaven, who have not seen both sides, the good and the bad, and have chosen good over bad. And unfortunately, these people that are running our country have been choosing bad for a really long time. So I think this being sequestered in our houses is actually probably a good thing. It protects us from getting hit with biological weapons or at large events or shootings or any of those things when we're all separated. Plus, it gets us reconnected with our family, and there's all sorts of positive things that happen from it. But I really want you to listen to this guy. I mean, it only has 2,422 views, which probably has been frozen too. Like if YouTube's up to their old tricks, like they've been doing to me for the last 12 years. I guess it's almost 12 years. Anyway, here it is. His name is Russell Colin Gould, or I can't remember how he says it, but he is the Postmaster General of the world. He stopped the bankruptcy and the cabal from taking back our country in 1999, and he's been working to expose all this for that many years. And he is also Commander-in-Chief, and he says that we have been living under the corporation of the United States of America. So I know God sounds crazy if you think this, if you're into conspiracy theories. I don't think there's a theory. This is a theory. I believe this guy, but you be the judge.
I would like to thank the citizens that are legally in this country and in our homeland that have taken the time out of their busy schedules to watch this documentary. I'd like to thank you for your concerns for the matters of the federal postal system. And I'd also like to tell you I'm sorry that you were screwed over by the banks and the fraudulent judicial system who have stolen your homes and have forced you into a life of poverty. This does not have to be. You have closure on the facts. This documentary was given so that the citizens of this country and the government and the people that are in position to make changes can find out true and correct facts on the completion of the fixing of the system, which I have mirrored from both the land and the sea. At this time, I would like to thank each and every one of you and tell you, do not leave your homes. The banks were paid. They fractionalized the notes and then kicked you out of your homes. This is fraud. 100% fiction. Each and every one of you, there is a tremendous amount of wealth and value coming your way as the federal government gets a hold of me and I get into my position to delegate wealth and riches and value down to the legal citizens of this country. You will have your homes. You do not have to fear the government, nor the police, the public safety officers, nor get involved in any race war, because grammar doesn't identify race. It gives you full closure so you can have peace and harmony amongst each other. But those of you who are fraudulently in our country with expired visas and passports and have walked into our country through false and misleading ways, you need to leave now. And that's a command. For the last 22 years, I have been in every location, vessel, where they use and function, the main purpose of that vessel and the corporations within that vessel is to capture and keep the administrative mechanics of planet Earth in check. In each and every one of those vessels, I have disqualified the grammar, the syntax, and the fee for freight for that vessel to exist as a governing factor against mankind. Mr. Trump and the people that are in Washington, D.C. making decisions. During the last holidays, Christmas, and it was a merry-Christmas, I captured 17 million tons of gold on contract that I would like to use to aid the government, the federal postal government, and the citizens of this country. But it's not a one-way ticket here. You have to get a hold of me. You have to reach out. with your people to contact me so I can help. You do not, and the citizens of this country, do not have the financial trouble that you think you're in. For I have disqualified all stock markets on planet Earth. I've disqualified all banking clearinghouses on planet Earth. I have been there. I have done that. They know who I am on contract. Get a hold of me so I can show you how to join with my federal serve system so that you can manufacture and give to the people. Give them the happiness and the joy. I am in concurrence with your stopping of terraforming different cultures within our borders. This is a very important thing that you're doing. We cannot allow other concepts to come into this nation, for this nation was foundation is on Christian principles. The terraforming that is happening, where they're trying to piggyback freedom of religion, freedom being a pronoun, of being an adverb, making religion a verb, there's no such thing. There's no constitution for them to use for terraforming concepts that cause harm to our citizenry and try to get us to conform to their concepts of their faiths. Please, I have the Constitution with 1 foot in the sea and 1 foot on the land. I can help you perform and convey maritime and admiralty contracts so that the citizens of this country and the federal postal government stay afloat for a long time. And so if you please get a hold of me, I can help you. I have General Mattis. You know who I am. General Dunsford. You know who I am. You know my banking system's true, correct, and complete, and in position. So you need to do the correct thing here for the citizens and the soldiers under your command. For they're going to watch this, and they're going to question the authenticity of your authorizations. And so they should. Why? Because they all went in and registered with the post office first. The post office lacks a flag. It lacks a president. It lacks a constitution. It's nothing. They're only under an assumption, presumption, and an opinion. They're not there with any facts. Thus, the soldiers should be trying to get a hold of me. They should be beating down my doors. They do want correctness. Why? Because they're out there terraforming everywhere else. And that needs to stop. That needs to stop. We need to take care of our land. Bring our troops home. This is what needs to happen. We don't need to be out in anybody else's. We need to make a playground here. Let everybody else make playgrounds there. Not our job. With 1 foot on the land and 1 foot on the sea. The sea being the admiralty and maritime contracts. The land being the land jurisdiction. With 1 foot in Washington, D.C. and 1 foot in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Benjamin Franklin Postal Court gives me the authorization to control the maritime and admiralty contracts to put the claim of the life citizens back in service to place them on the land. And this is what gives me authorization to have 1 foot on the land and 1 foot on the sea, because I have Title 42, 1986, knowledge of the law, and I'm stopping and correcting of a wrong. It's pretty humbling. It's pretty exciting. And I did it. Nobody can take that away from me. No matter what they say, they can never take that away from me. So, proud of myself. I did it myself. Had no help. And it was all on my sweat of my own back because of the beatdown and the courage that I had to endure in Wisconsin. The getting beat up, getting froze out, getting starved down, gave me the fortitude and the courage to have the mettle from within to take those guys down. And I did it.
Okay, well, there it is. And he also, on one of them, I think it was like, maybe it was the previous one. Let me see. There was another one that, let's look at this one. I just want to look at the end part because
to people inherently and his
he goes through all the whole problems.
With one foot on the land, for the Federal Reserve. I am now the director chair for the Federal Reserve System within that vessel by contract. A mirrored banking system of correct communication, parsing, syntax, grammar, language to give closure and aid the government and the citizens of this country as a Federal Reserve System. There are no longer any Postmaster Generals in that vessel but myself, as well as the find of over 17 trillion tons of gold, million tons of gold, I apologize, million tons of gold that is owed by those people that are docking that vessel on my land. It is owed to me, which I will give back and leverage for the citizens and government of this country as a Federal Reserve System. And it's a Merry Christmas. And I owe it all to Mr. Donald John Trump. Thank you for the thanks.
Okay, that's the one I wanted to see. I didn't realize that one didn't have, let's see. All right, let me get this. Okay. Hi. Let me turn this a little bit. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Shoot, sorry, it's starting again. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right, so that was weird. What did that all mean? Essentially, if you want to watch the entire documentary, and you can find it at War Castles, let's see, War Castles. Here it is. This is the channel, and let me go to that channel, and then. So anyway, you go there and you read. I mean, it's like 9 of them. I watched them all. Essentially, this guy figured this whole system out, and before they could switch over and start us on another bankruptcy after the Depression bankruptcy ended in 1999, he went and captured the flag, like that game, Capture the Flag, captured the accurate flag, and then turned it into the United Nations and the Pentagon, and we went through all these machinations that are centuries old on how sovereignty is relegated, and the postmaster and all this stuff that I don't really know much about. Anyway, bottom line is, it looks like the system may have already been switched. It's just the people in the news media and the people in the government didn't want their gravy train to end, so they just kept on doing it. And now Donald Trump apparently is helping him. Did you notice how he called him? He wanted to thank Donald John Trump. He didn't say President Trump. From watching his documentary, it looks as though these are people that they're not really president of anything other than a corporation. He's the president of the corporation of the United States of America. It's not really doesn't really have the kind of power that you'd think. But he's working with Russell, to the Postmaster General of the world, and the actual commander-in-chief in correct grammar law, contract law, to change it over. So that means we have all the money and not the bad guys having all the money. So if this is true, then they may be using this time to adjust and go to the new correct system, which I've heard called it quantum system. Anyway, it's very detailed, and so if you really want to learn the details and you think there might be something to this, and I would encourage you to go to War-Castles channel and watch the entire video. But anyway, thank you very much. I will bid you adieu. Thanks, and have a lovely, it's almost like a forced vacation to reconnect with your family members. I do think it's going to get the economy back on track, and they might actually send some of this money directly to us, which would really irritate the Congress because they're supposed to get the money routed back to them. That's the way it's always been. So, and keep close to the Lord. And if you have any questions, I would refer you to the Bible, and it's all sorts of alludes to all sorts of things in there about issues and our battle against the enemy. So have a very blessed day. Thank you so much. And if you want to like, comment, or gosh, even share, that would be lovely. I'm not asking for any money or any contributions or anything like that. I would just like to see one of my videos get more than, 100 views. It would be cool. Since YouTube has been censoring me for so many years, so they just freeze the views. I don't want to go into that. Bottom line is things are good. Thanks, and have a very blessed day.